Hi, my name is Dominik Oczkowski from Oczko Stereo. My work is all about stereoscopic 3D photography. Today I want to show you how I digitize analog film. All the images in this video are made with Minuta Stereo, a stereoscopic pinhole camera. If you haven't already, please make sure to check it out. There's a link in the description of this video. So there are two options to get film onto your computer. You can use the scanner, flatbed or even a drum scanner, or you can photograph film with a digital camera. With a good scanner you will get maximum quality. With the camera you will save a lot of time. Of course you can use your smartphone as well, but the final result strongly depends on two elements: the sensor, that should be as big as possible, and the lens, that should be as good as possible. I use my Sony Alpha 7 with a full frame sensor and a 60mm Nikon macro lens. This setup gives me quite good results when working with film. The camera is mounted on a repro table. It is important to keep it horizontal, so you don't have to worry about perspective. I always check with the bubble level additionally. Then I make sure that the light table is the only light source. To avoid grain, I always keep the ISO at 100. When it comes to choosing the correct f-stop, it is good to know the sweet spot of your lens. You can determine it yourself or find a datasheet on the web, telling you how to achieve minimal distortion and chromatic aberration, but maximal sharpness. If you don't know, try to choose an f-stop of about 11. Then I set the white balance manually to the color of the light table. I also cover all the bright areas of the light table around the actual piece of film with the mask. This way there are no lens flares. I double check the focus and trigger the shutter with the cable release. A tethered setup, where you can check the images immediately on a bigger computer screen, is also a good idea. When everything is set, I am ready to digitize my film frame by frame. Remember, now the only setting to change is exposure time. When it comes to digital photography, there is a rule called expose to the right, or just ETTR. This means you want to have your histogram pushed to the right, or towards the bright tones. So I try to expose as bright as possible without clipping the highlights. When I digitize reversal film with a huge dynamic range, I tend to make HDRs with different exposure time settings. On the other hand, I try to avoid HDRs whenever possible, as they slow down my workflow a lot. I tend to think about the light that was conserved on this very piece of film. It is the only copy of a captured moment, so I handle it with care. I use gloves and special tweezers. Because I want my grandchildren to find my archives, I store film only in archival and acid-free materials. I get rid of any dust using a special blower. Never blow with your mouth, because you will spread droplets everywhere. I use Adobe Lightroom to import, develop and organize my pictures. But of course there's other software to develop digital negatives. So here we are with the imported RAW files. At the beginning I set the white balance again by clicking on the unexposed image border. I can apply this value to the entire roll of film. Then I crop the images. Only after that I will use a handy tool called Negative Lab Pro. It is a Lightroom plugin that makes things much easier. I can do some basic adjustments inside the plugin, but the main work still needs to be done afterwards. Most of Lightroom's controls are now reversed, making things slightly counterintuitive. I removed some of the dust particles with the spot healing tool. Color reversal images are already positive. For this stereo pair, I made some bracketing to capture more of the slide's dynamic range. So first I will merge the different exposures into HDR images. This will not generate a certain look, but minimize noise in the shadows. I tend to leave analog pictures quite raw. Sometimes I darken the shadows a bit. So here I have all images ready for the next step, which is 3D alignment of the stereo pairs. I will use Stereo Photo Maker, so I need to export the images as full resolution JPEG files. JPEG means losing 16-bit color depth. Unfortunately, I don't know a method yet to keep it. Don't forget to make backups. I mirror my digital image files onto 3 different hard drives and keep them in different places. Thank you for watching this video. I plan to make a small series showing you my workflow. In the next video, I will show you how to align stereos and how I export wiggle animations. So consider subscribing to this channel. Are you interested in 3D photography? Make sure to subscribe to the newsletter on the Oczko Stereo website.